Hey, this is G with All Astrology, and I'm going to do a little, it's just me talking about the current energies, okay? And I'm doing this today because we're in the midst of that moment that I had been talking about through all of October and all the videos, which is there is some powerful stuff energetically going on. It has to do with past life history, karma, right? Our free will. Today in particular, I want to talk, well, just not so much talk. That sounds so serious. So educational. This should be a bit entertaining, right? So what I want to do, as long as my sage doesn't smoke me out, is Uranus. Okay? I've got Uranus sitting at one end, and I've got the sun sitting at the other end. No, this isn't a free reading. I'm going to be doing that in a minute for somebody else. But this is current energies, period. Current energies. So we've got Uranus down here, and we have the sun sitting down here. The moon is also down here. It's not as tight as it was earlier this morning, where the moon was also right on top of the sun, and that gave us our new moon, okay? This is October 28th, 2019. I probably should have said that a minute or so earlier. Anyway, Uranus is about surprises, is about the awakener is Uranus. Uranus is innovative. Uranus is science. Uranus represents our freedom and my need to express, my need to be who I am, which is a good example of me doing this video today. Astrology is a huge part of my understanding and the way I relate to the world. It just helps me in understanding of myself. And when that happens, you then understand others better that you relate with or that you don't relate with, and why that is, okay, and how it is that you relate or don't relate. So the awakener, surprises, could be shocks, okay, it could also be individuals who are considered, it's kind of complicated, but it can be people who are considered an authority. Because if you think about just the practicality of all of it in our lives, simplistically, when we are challenged by somebody, we don't consider, children can be challenging, okay? And Uranus does represent that. They represent revolutions. It's a revolutionary energy. But it can also be individuals who challenge us in a different way. So it could be like an authority figure at the job. It could be, if you're a teenager or somebody in the home, it could be a mom or dad. It could be a parent in a sense, okay? There's an aspect of this where it's somehow somebody who can also be considered an authority figure in your life. So for some people, depending upon the relationship dynamics, could be a spouse. Let me move this smoking sage, because it is doing its thing, and I love it, but I gotta be able to breathe at the same time. Okay, and of course, yes, that is our goddess. I don't know if I have to show you that. Yes, she is still smoking. Okay, now, that is opposing the sun, okay? So Uranus is down here, the sun is down here. Remember when I talked about, that's kind of like a tug of war. The sun is your strength, your vitality, what invigorates you. Now, the sun is where we shine our brightest. The sun is also our creative self. The sun rules Leo. Leo is all about, it's the fifth house, creativity, children, romance, our ability and our urge to go ahead and take a risk. This is Leo, and it's because it's the sun as its ruler. So when the sun is there, we feel so filled and full of ourselves. We feel the power of the sun literally in us. And so sometimes we can be very assertive in a sense. So we've got this really powerful energy down here and the very powerful energy down here. Now the Uranus, the Uranian energy, is in Taurus right now. So when we talk about Taurus, it's our value system. It's our values, literally. Like, this is my pen. I own this, right? Actually, it's not my pen, but I own the goddess. Well, she was a gift. I'm taking care of her. But you get what I'm saying? What's in my bank account? It's mine. Got it? What's in my bedroom? It's mine. Okay, it's what I value, my resources. This astrology, I love it. It's a part of me. I value it very strongly. Now, what do you value in your life? There might be some shocks and surprises as to things that maybe it's a forgotten value system is kind of what it feels like, because it's what we value. And it's a value of our resources, a value of, it could be individuals, a value of ourself, how we value ourselves. Do we value ourselves? Or there's a reckoning of, oh, I used to really love doing this. And it was an activity that just something about you, something about a gift you have, a talent you have, something about your innate abilities that you came in with that you kind of just haven't been using, haven't been utilizing, have somehow been covered up. And there is something about this push-pull, because when you have an opposition, which is what this is called, you have this big thing down here and this big thing down here. So let me get the camera off my face and let's take a look. Let's turn that up a little bit. Let's take a look at what this looks like astrologically, because I know for me, it helps to have an idea by looking at the screen and seeing how this goes and what all this looks like. Okay, so we're back. And what I'm going to do, if you guys can see this, all right? We're down here, Uranus and Taurus. Okay? How about we do this? So we're down over here, okay? Uranus and Taurus, right? And then over here is that sun, right? Sun is at 4:55 in Scorpio. And then that's Uranus and Taurus at 4:36. So they're almost exactly conjunct. I'm sorry, opposing each other, right? So that's that stick. It's that same line of energy that they're working on. And what happens is the tug of war occurs because the energy that happens here shoots itself, right? It literally sends a beam of energy this way. Well, at the other end is sitting Uranus, okay? Uranus does the same thing. The energy that it has, it shoots straight down, right, at the opposing end. So in essence, both ends get lit up, right? The sun gets lit up by Uranus, and Uranus gets lit up by the sun. And when we understand what Uranus means, the shocks, the surprises, the shake-ups, the quake-ups, the alarm going off in the middle of the night, the phone call that comes in the middle of the night. Now, that all sounds not too positive, but it doesn't have to be bad things. It doesn't have to be negative. It's just surprises in some way. Now, in my own life, surprises haven't been huge. Of course, this day is not over yet, but I started feeling this energy a couple days ago and started seeing some things that were kind of like revelations. There was lots of revelations yesterday, but they weren't life-changing revelations in a sense where it affected other people directly at that moment. It was more of like revelations of self and self's abilities. And when the self gets lit up and its abilities, it's as though you somehow appreciate yourself a little bit more. You somehow realize, oh my gosh, I have the ability to do this or that, whether it's, who knows, cooking, eating, sleeping. I mean, I don't know, whatever your gift is, communication, whether it's, on the physical plane or in the metaphysical plane. Whatever your gift is, it doesn't even have to be a metaphysical gift. Matter of fact, it's in Taurus. So it's likely something tangible. It could very easily be something tangible. When we talk about Taurus definitely is food, cooking, right? And the senses, hearing, seeing, sense, smelling. It could be any of those things, but something that we value. So Taurus also rules the spoken word. So for many people, there could be, hey, this could be a nice little wake up of, oh my gosh, I had this fear over speaking and somehow maybe that's going to be relieved. That's a really good possibility, because when the sun and Uranus are involved, it's all about making a change, an energetic, and I'll say deep emotional change, right? It's like there's this deep part of yourself because it's Scorpio. The sun is in Scorpio. So let's stay down here for a minute, right? The sun is down there in Scorpio, and with that, Scorpio is below the surface issues. Taurus is above the surface. It's on top of the earth. Taurus is the earth. Scorpio's below the earth. It's stuff that's hidden. It's in the muck. It's below the earth. You can't see it. What's down there anyway? A lot of times Scorpio can represent like plumbing. It's ruled by Pluto, right? So it's piping, pipes, things that are buried deep. Okay, that is Scorpio, and the sun is there. So we have a revelation of things, right? The sun is lighting that up. The new moon is there. That was yesterday, today, early this morning, actually, the 28th. So there's this light up. There's, like in my past videos, I called this new moon like a loaded new moon because of this factor, and also the fact that we right now have some other things going on, which I won't talk about at this second. I will a little bit later. And if you are aware of this and where this looks like in your chart, what does that mean? Where does this where this looks like in your chart, right? Always saying what does it look like, but where does it look like in your chart? Because this is a chart of the moment from where I live right now, and this is going to change, which means depending upon anyway, I'm not going to get into that. It gets confusing, but you want to know where's Scorpio in your chart. You want to know where's Taurus in your chart. If you don't know these things, comment below this video. This is all astrology. We do free readings for people. But if you've already had a free reading for us, because we give everybody one free reading, all of our subscribers, if you've already had a free reading and you don't want to know, right, because you've already gotten it, just comment down below. G, I have a question. G, I'm not certain. Because people's charts can be really confusing. You might be like, my gosh, I can't tell where my sun in Scorpio is exactly. Because it's a transiting sun we're talking about. I'm not sure. It's on a border between my 7th and my 8th house. It might be conflicting. So comment down below. We'll hook you up. We'll take care of you. We'll further explain things. And the whole purpose of this channel is to share knowledge. That is the purpose here at All Astrology. So deep things about ourself. The sun in Scorpio, things that are, because sun is self, okay? In Scorpio, below the surface. Very good possibility, like I said earlier, these are things that you yourself were not aware of. And Uranus shoots its energy down there, and it helps to burn away energetic auric layers. It helps to burn those things away. When Uranus sends a jolt to the sun, it's like, okay, I am just going to, like a flame is lit and we're burning this crap off. It is friction by fire. It is, it is the alchemical change. Fire by friction. It is the burning away and changing one element into another. I've mentioned this before. It's the alchemy of changing lead into gold on a metaphysical, energetical way. It's not specifically on the physical, tangible lead into gold. But in reality, that is what happens because it has to first occur within. Has to first occur within. So again, that is what this phoenix, I'm calling this, right? I really am. This is a rise from the ashes type of thing. We're involving Pluto and Scorpio. We're involving Venus and Uranus, and these are all about self-awareness, layers of self, burning away history, hidden things, so that this new beautiful degree of our being can emerge and emerges. And once that happens, and once your awareness gets focused on that, we start making different choices in our life. When we start making different choices in our life, our priorities change. And when those things occur within, our whole world, our outwardly world changes. All right. We are also right now experiencing that square that I had been talking about. Everybody's been talking about it. Take a look. Mars and Libra, 1550. Okay? Mars and Libra. Squaring up. Square means that it's going to be 90 degrees. So something that's 90 degrees away from this, look, is this. Saturn, 15 degrees, right? They're both at 15 degrees. Now, a quick way of figuring out 15 degrees, figuring out 90 degrees, instead of sitting there and counting, right? Because who the hell wants to do that? Although you do have to do that at certain times. A quick way of doing it right now is to understand this outer ring of energy that shows you all the signs. This is cardinal energy. Cardinal energy squares cardinal energy. So all I got to do is look for the cardinal energies. That would mean I would need to know what they are. Cardinal. Libra is cardinal. Opposing Libra is also cardinal, which is Aries. And then it's Capricorn. And down there, Cancer. So cardinal, square. Cardinal cross. Square. 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 Okay? So if you have a planet here, now these are just transiting planets right now. This chart I've pulled up are the transiting, which means current location. Okay? Mars is at 15. Go to your chart, pull it up. Do you have a planet here at 15 degrees in Libra? If you do, Mars is on top of it right now. And it's being squared by the transiting Saturn. Current location of the current planets, planetary movement up there. So that would be a cardinal square. Cardinal means action, means you're not going to just sit still. There's going to be some sort of a tension or a stress. There's going to be friction. Something is going to occur, and you're going to take action. Now, the cool thing about this square, because I always got to find this positive light. Squares typically just represent stress. Bottom line, people, squares represent stress. Truth is, we only change due from stress. Hold on. Sorry about that. When stress occurs, we make changes. When things are just going beautiful, we don't make any changes. Why the hell would we? We're like, damn, this is great. I'm loving it. There's nothing rocky going on, like the waters are calm, it's smooth sailing, the wind's blowing, I'm on a steady course, right? Everyone's fed. There's no reason to change anything. It's not until we have these stressful events occur where we're like, oh, goddamn, this shit's got to end. I'm making a change. Well, that's the cool thing, is that because it's a cardinal square, cardinal meaning we're going to make a change. You can be sure. And the interesting thing about this square, the positive part about this kind of a square, is that it is right now occurring while our individual light is being lit, something valuable about ourselves or something that we are now realizing, oh yeah, I do value that. And it could be other things relating in other people as well, because there might be some, I mean, think about it. It's in Scorpio. Well, what is Scorpio? Everyone keeps talking and generally about this energetic, auric layer being burned away. And it is. But at the same time, let's not forget what Scorpio represents. It's how we share our energy. Well, what do you mean, share our energy? With another being. It's Scorpio. It is the sign of merge. I merge with you. I merge my resources with me. You're my business partner, like Miss A and I. This All Astrology channel. This is Scorpio, what we're doing. This is merging our talents and our resources, merging we're business partners, okay? But it's also marriage partners. Think about that. You're married. Typically, people who are married, they merge their financial resources together. Typically, okay? So this is a merging energy. So it's a very good possibility as well that the sun opposing Uranus and that light and each end being lit up comes down to how do I value a new profound value that I have on certain relationships. Intimate, important relationships, significant one-on-one relationships that we share deeply, something we share deeply about ourselves with each other. Does not have to be sexual, okay? You'll limit yourself in this reading and in this explanation, in this explication, in this understanding. If you think Scorpio is just about sex, you're losing out. You're missing the big picture. Scorpio is very much a metaphysical energy. It can, of course, be very simply on a mundane level just about sex. But people, it's so much more than that. It is the phoenix. What does the phoenix do? Rises up out of the ashes. So, getting back to the square, and the good thing about this square is that Mars in Libra, Mars is forced to sit at the table and talk first. Typically Mars, like if Mars was in a fire sign like Sag, or if it was in Leo, or if it was in Aries, the planet that it rules, it would immediately see something, it would feel this stress, and it would right away take action. It would not even wait. It would not stop and think. It would not have a discussion. This Mars, however, is sitting down at the table and talking. See, it's in Libra. So it's all about, let's discuss this first. I'm going to tell you what I'm thinking. I'm thinking I really want to do this, but I'm going to talk to you about this first. And so Mars is not, he's not super powerful because he can't just run. He's all about the physical body. That is Mars. Mars represents your physical body. So for me, for a lot of people, having Mars in Libra, well, my gosh, this is really about a balance in our physical bodies. For everybody, actually, right? Balanced body. Hello? Some things are extremely literal. A lot of times we dig for the deep hidden meanings, you know, but a lot of times it is very tangible, physical, and it's just like, bam, right there. But this also is relationships. Libra is also about how I relate. It is in my significant one-on-one relationships, my partnerships, okay? It's also Venus. Venus rules Libra. So it also comes down to, yes, it's relationships, but valuing relationships, right? Venus is about valuing beautiful things. So you value your beautiful relationships, right? So at this time, this is important that we're aware of this square, that we're aware of this light up that just occurred with, could be relationships, but a lot of it is self-awareness of a thing about ourselves and my value in that relationship, right? Me understanding how I am valued in my relationship with others. I think that's a huge part of it, people. This is what I've been feeling for the past 5 days. And I think a huge part of the meaning of this is I see a higher perspective of my value in a relationship. I see how my gifts, my talents, my skills, how they contribute, what I bring to the table, and how that is of value in my relationships, in my significant relationships. Okay? So I wanted to make sure that I was able to express that for anybody to hear that could take something with that with them, like a nugget for you to hold on to and carry forward and to understand, and it might help you, might give you some light. This is all vital to understand because in a few days' time, on the 31st, this little person here, Mercury, right now, 27 degrees, Mercury is going to retrograde, okay? It's in Scorpio, again, right? Another highlight of the Scorpio energy. I mean, look at all this crap in Scorpio. Sun, right now the moon, Venus. This is Pallas Athena. We don't talk about her in the general. We do in the private readings. And we also have Mercury. Mercury, all these planets are in Scorpio. That's 5 planets, people. That's below the surface. Now, if you want to look at this on the worldly level, on the world scale, this makes a whole lot of sense. On the world scale, whole lot of shit behind the scenes, under the surface coming out. And now Mercury's going to retrograde. And what does that mean? She gets to pull up more shit that wasn't seen. She gets to look at some more of the unspeakable details that were below the surface that we did not see, that were not revealed. She's going to go all the way back, actually, to like where the moon is right now. Look at that. That is fascinating as hell. And then she'll go forward again. They call that her shadow zone because she goes backwards. Yep. She goes backwards and kind of it's a redo, people call it, but it's basically a big revealing time. So this is important because it's in the merging. It's in the energy that we share and that we've merged with. It's the below the surface thing. So this will be happening for all of us, and it's important to know, where does this happen in your chart? What house does that occur in? Okay, it could happen in your first house, which would be all about self. It could happen in your second house, which would be a mixture, right? It would be all about your resources and others' resources, okay? It could be in your third house, how you think and communicate. It could be in your fourth house, your foundational emotional home, the areas where you first created your psychology. It could be in your fifth house. Anyway, you get my idea. You want to know where this is occurring in your life, because all of November, this is what's coming up. This is what we're going to be really, the focus is going to be there. A lot of other things are going to be happening in November, and I'm going to do more videos on it. We're going to do more videos on that. I just wanted to, again, reiterate all these other videos that I've given for this month of October and kind of just, go over them again, because it's important to understand going into November, you need to know, you need to be clear on this. This you should be clear on. This should have given you the impetus to make a change in something and somehow to establish a new set of balance in your life because of the Saturn restriction. Respect that restriction that Saturn gives, and the fact that Mars is actually working very well with Saturn right now, because Mars is in a I'm sitting at the table and I'm willing to take orders type of mode. And then I will act on whatever orders the general has given me. That is where this is occurring, you know, between these two. And this is powerful. This is good, actually. This is very good. But understand, it doesn't come without some waves, right? It comes with some waves. It comes with some white water, some currents. It comes with maybe some surprises and shocks, because this is all happening at the same time. And I want you to really focus and hone in on what that is on your life. And how you do that? By being and staying aware, by being and staying objective, by being able to sit back a little bit and to say to yourself, okay, what's going on? What exactly is going on right now? Who am I talking to? You know, like, who is in my life? Who is important to me? Why are they important? What do I hold of value in this relationship? How do I contribute? How does someone else, how does another contribute to this relationship? And why does that matter? So you're going to need to just stay aware, stay objective. And as one of my favorite astrologers says, be the observer. Stand outside and be the observer. However, at this time, I will say it's not going to be as simple as standing outside and being the observer, because all the planets are in Scorpio, people. And all the planets in Scorpio is me and another. How I share, how I merge. It is about deep things about myself, deep things about you. And it does require us relating. But just understand that you have degrees to your being. And when you understand you have degrees to your being, you can be that person who can sit down and can be intimate and who can share. And at the same time, you have another degree of your consciousness that can observe that relating. I know that must sound tripped out if somebody already doesn't do that to some degree in their life, but that's a very big reality of consciousness and of awareness and of growing and evolving. It's a part of your soul that steps in and says, okay, I'm observing and I want you to know this is my feedback on what I observed. And we listen to it. And we listen to it in a non-blaming way, where we're not hurt by it, where we understand it's for the best for ourselves and to grow. Okay? So that is all. Bye.